and welcome to another episode in the Retro Cycle Classic Car Restoration YouTube channel. And no, your screen is not broken. It is very dark in here, and as I'm sure you can guess from the title of the video, I'm here to talk about my new garage lights. So without further ado, here comes the new change. So, as you may have noticed if you follow this channel, the lighting in my garage has always been a bit of a problem. And as we're coming into the winter months here in the UK, I do need a bit more light in the garage. So I've made a decision to change from the single pendant LED lights here to LED strip lights here. This is a half job in progress. This afternoon I changed this from the LED pendant that was here and I've wired in these LED strip lights. And tomorrow I'm going to do this again, but this will all be shown in the one video. Whenever we moved into this house about 3 years ago, there was a single incandescent bulb hanging from each of these pendants. I changed those into these, I think they're 20 watt LEDs, which did give significantly more light than the old incandescent bulb. But as I'm sure you've seen from past videos, the light was always very poor. I was having to use a head torch, which is not ideal when you're trying to do work and make a good job, and it's not very good for your eyesight either. So invested a bit of money and I've bought these LED strip lights. These are 4 feet long and I think they're 43 watts each, and they're twin tubes. So I'm going to put 1, 2 and then 3 is going to go here and 4 is going to go here. So it's going to be really bright. I'm showing you this as sort of a before and after type picture. I'll talk you through what I'm going to do in a wee second. This is the toy lander, as you'll be able to see the rest of the build series, and this is otherwise on the channel. These are the lights that I'm using. They are made by LAP. I'll turn this over here. If you're in the UK, I've bought these from Screwfix. They're £30 each, or £29.99, and if you buy 3 or more you get 15% off. So for the 4 I think it was £103. I also bought 10 meters of 3-core cable, that was £10, so the whole lot's £113 for a very significant change in the garage. Could have paid an electrician to do it, but really didn't want to, because I thought this was something I could manage themselves, and as you'll see in a minute, these are really easy to wire in. Just taking the feed from the pendant. All you need is a live and a neutral. There's no earth to these because there is no earth. I think they're earthed by themselves. I don't really understand the ins and outs of it, but the instructions are quite comprehensive, as they're shown here. And you take the live and then you can feed the wire in one end and take it out the other, so you can daisy chain them, which is really, really handy. So, big change in the garage. I think it's really going to make my life a lot easier. And I really like the fact that over here, the light is just above the bench, so when you're working at the bench, still lots of light, and please excuse the mess. So I probably won't need my little work lamp just as much, but it's always good to have it. So I'm going to catch you up in a wee second when I'll have moved the Land Rover out and put my ladder up and show you what I'm going to do and how I'm putting the second setup. And then we'll see what the finished result's like. I'm going to need my sunglasses on, I think. Back in a wee second. Okay, so here we are the next morning. I've moved the Land Rover outside to create a bit of room. Still some fairly ominous looking puddles of oil on from the differentials, so that's something that's going to need looked at. But here are the 2 lights that are going to go up in the ceiling here. The light is obviously in here, but these are the fixtures and fittings you get. So these lights can be mounted indoors or outdoors, so these are like their waterproof seals for the cables, a blanking plug for one end if needed, and these are the 2 brackets that you fit in the ceiling. So I did record the measurements of the lights yesterday when I did those, so what I'm going to do is going to get the ladder up and drill my holes for the brackets and clip the lights into the ceiling ready to be wired in, and then I'll take the pendant down and wire up that cable. So let's get some measurements done, some holes drilled, and go from there. So we've got one of the lights up, and I've pre-installed the little blanking plug in that end. as I'm going to run the cabling from this end up to the front, just so they're going to have a degree of symmetry compared to this side. I think I'm going to wire this one slightly, well, I'm going to wire it obviously the same way, but I'm going to lay all the cables first and then put the lights in, just so I have the electricity to the rest of the house off for as little time as possible, because there's other people in the house today. So I'm going to put the lights up, get the wiring between them done, get the wiring from the front light, which will be about here, to the pendant cut and ready, and then it'll just be a case of drop the pendant down and wire it in, and that should be us good to go. So I'll get the next light up, and then we'll get some wires cut, or measured and cut, and ready to go into the lights. So now, just to show you, well, not really show you because you'll never actually see it, but just to be aware, I've got a new toy in that I've now got a tripod. At least this will hold my camera. So just before I put the second light up, I'm going to wire up the first one just to save myself a trip up the ladder. So this is 3-core wire, earth, live and neutral. I've just taken the outer coating off, so that can wait there. I'm going to trim the earth, or ground if you're in America, because it's not needed. And then what I'm going to do is just strip the coating off these. Like that. And like that. And I'm going to twist those over. I'm sure you all know how to strip wire, but nothing like a little practice run with this tripod. So I'm going to strip that over, and then I'm going to push it into the connectors in the side of the lights. You don't actually have to screw it in, it's just a push in, just a push tab, push the wires in, release, and then it holds. And I'll put the little bracket, or the waterproof gland, and the bracket on first. Otherwise it's a bit of a pain whenever you have it all wired in and you've forgotten you've done that. So we'll get that up now and put the second light up, and I'll show you the connectors on the second light. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is the push wiring into the light button. So I'm going to feed on the waterproof gland, I think it's called. I'm happy to be corrected. And this is the little locking device into the side. I'm going to twist those together. That screws into that. Now, obviously this is an inside light, so it doesn't need to be completely waterproof, but I'll get them all tightened up so it's a nice, neat job. And just check that those are nicely twisted over. And then what I'm going to do is show you, this is the lighting connector. L for live, N for neutral, and it's literally a case of holding the tab down, pushing the wire in, and as you can see, that's the live in, and the same for neutral. Push it all the way in, check it's nice and tight. I've trimmed the live, or the earth short, don't need it, and then put that in there. Twist the lock, and then lock that down. And that's it all nicely sealed in. So that is going to go up in the ceiling now, and then I'm going to do for the same for the other end, and then I'm ready to do the light connection into the ceiling. And then we'll have 4 lovely new bright lights here in the garage. So catch up in a wee second. So back out of the tripod again, I have this light completely connected. This light, the wiring is done at both ends. I've just left it hanging here at the minute. So I need to turn the house electric off. Yes, I could just isolate the garage, but I'm a bit neurotic about it getting electrocuted. So the entire house wiring is going to come off. I'm going to detach the ceiling rose, take the pendant off, and I'm going to wire this wire here into that, and that should be us good to go. So I'll catch up in a second. Unfortunately, my tripod's not quite high enough to show you doing that, and I've only got 2 hands, so you're going to have to trust me that I'm doing a good job. And a safe job is the most important thing. And once that's done, I'm then going to tack these wires onto the ceiling so it's all nicely supported and safe. And at the end of the day, the safety is the most important bit. So let's get that all wired in, and then we'll be good to go and show you this lit. So just before I go any further, this is the old pendant, and this is the LED bulb that was on. It's quite a bright LED, I got it off eBay and it wasn't very expensive. It did the job, but time for a bit of new wiring and a bit of new lighting. I think I'm going to clean this ceiling rose up and use the cover again. I'll take you up the ladder here and show you. This is the connector coming out of the ceiling, so brown or live goes in this end screw and the neutral goes in this screw, and it'll all just push up onto the ceiling and make sure the tension's off the wires. Let's get it wired in then. And there we go. I have this cable attached up. Made a bit of a whoopsie and cut the original too short, so I'm glad I had enough of a spare length. And this, yes, there's a bit of excess here, but I'll tack it up onto the ceiling in a second. I'm just going to do a bit of a test. I've turned the house mains back on. So here we go. Let's see if they're working, fingers crossed. Happy days, look at that. 4 lovely new LED strip lights, and I think they look really, really well. So let's get those wires tacked up onto the ceiling, get it all tidied up, get the mess of the garage tidied up, and it's raining so I'm going to move the Land Rover back in, but get the wires up, and then whenever it's darker again I'll finish up the video and I'll get the full impact of what these lights look like. So catch you up in a wee second. At least they do turn off again as well. And so just to round up this video, here we are back in the dark again, and now for a better grand reveal. As you can see, it's pretty dark outside. Now for a better grand reveal of what the lights look like now. 3, 2, 1, and there we go. Brilliant lighting, really pleased, and it's going to make working in here quite a lot more easy over the winter, which should, all being well, provide you with better quality videos and allow me to get more things done of which to make videos. Wee teaser for the next Toylander video is that I've got this front panel on here, and I hope soon to bring the Morris Minor up and get the brakes adjusted on it. So there you go, bit of a different video this time, not your standard, but I thought you'd be interested to see what was going on behind the scenes in the Resto Saga Classic Car Restoration Workshop. So once again, I ask you to subscribe. We're just about to hit 700 subscribers, or just more than that now. Really appreciate your continuing to follow and support me. Please hit the like button and hit the bell icon to keep up with notifications. As always, I always reply to all my comments, so thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you again next week. Bye now.